Hey, it is such a pleasure to be right here in my hometown with so many friends, so many family members, and so many new faces. If I haven't got the chance to meet you yet, I'm an agriculturalist, I'm an educator, I'm a human rights advocate, and I am running for Congress to represent you. Just over a year ago, in November of 2016, was the hardest and the most angry and the most betrayed I have ever felt. And it wasn't until this day last year, that I started to snap out of that anger and that hurt and that fear. And I walked the 4 blocks to the Chico City Plaza from my home. And I met women who have been advocating for women's rights and for human rights for their entire lives. I met women, I laughed with women, I cried with women, I marched with women, and I have never been more inspired and more moved and more ready for action than I was on that day. Yeah. Since then, every single day, the women in this crowd, the allies in this crowd, and the women around the country have been the resistance. 86% of the calls to Congress in the last year have come from women. You are organizing, you are marching, you are registering voters, you are having meetings, you are standing up for women's rights, for human rights, for civil rights. Every day, you are fighting for health care, not just for women, but for all of us. You're fighting for our reproductive freedoms. You're fighting against the cruel and unethical deportation of our friends and neighbors. You are fighting for racial equality, and you are reminding us that every life, everywhere is inherently equal in rights and dignity. You're fighting for environmental justice. You're fighting to mitigate climate change. You're fighting for the poor, the oppressed, for the marginalized and the victimized. And I could not be prouder to be part of this fight with you. I want to go to Congress to continue that fight. I want to go to Congress to fight with you and for you. I want to work with you to create a world where my dear friend Penny right here and my dear niece Izzy right here never has to say me too. That's the world I want. I'm Audrey Denney, and I will be your next and first Congresswoman of the 1st District.